Okay everyone, I want to show you how I set up my factory turn signals on my 2022 CFMoto ZForce 950 Sport. They are the factory signals, so I did use a flasher relay and a trailer wiring harness converter. Might be what you've already seen on YouTube before, done by Justin Drake. His video is pretty popular among the community, but I did find, thanks to a few other people in the Facebook pages, an easier way to make the rear lights flash without tearing the entire rear end off of the machine. But I haven't seen a video made about that, so I thought I would try to show how I did it. This is not a step-by-step instructional video, mine is already done. I just want to show you how I did it. So keep in mind, I am just one person with an iPhone doing something I've not done before, so this is going to be sloppy as hell. Just to prove that they do work, I will show you here real quick. Turn on my right turn signal. We have it flashing on the dash, which we will get to. Come around here to the front. Got flashing on the daytime running light. And the rear tail light is flashing. Now, I think you believe me, I don't need to go and show you that the left one does the same thing. So we'll turn that off. Alright, let's go up front here and show these two products are what I used to make my lights flash, including the rear lights. So this is a Novita EP36 LED electronic flasher. It has 3 pins on the back, so you got to find a place to mount it to start. And mine is right up here past my spare fuse block, which I've done a video on how to install spare fuse block on a relay. If it focuses here, this is my flasher relay. Like I said, 3 pins on the back, positive, a negative, and a load. Positive is running right under here to my fuse block. Negative is running right around here and grounded on the fuse block. And then the load switch is running, or the load wire is running from the 3rd pin up into the dash at the switch. I did not use the factory CFMoto turn signal switch. I just bought a generic switch off of Amazon. It has 4 pins on the back right there. Of course, the blue and yellow wires you see are running to the lights and the dash. The black wire is a ground for the switch, so it is running up to my fuse block as well. The red wire you see here is going to the load pin on the back of the LED flasher. The black wire is running to a ground on my fuse block. Might as well start off with the rear lights. I'm sure that's what most people are curious about because it can be the most difficult part. I tried to draw up a little bit of a diagram of how I did it. So the converter has 5 wires coming into it and 4 wires coming out. So I'll show the picture that matches more. So on the inside you have the right signal wire, which is green, and then the brake wire, which is red, the left signal wire, which is yellow, There's a brown wire, which is for your parking lights. It does not get used for anything. And then the white wire is running to ground on the inside of the converter box. On the outside of the converter box, again, you have the right signal wire is green, the left signal wire is yellow, and then you have brown and white again, which do not get used. My converter box is right here, you can see down behind the dash. I probably should have took the seat out so you can see this a little better. So if you've seen Justin Drake's video, you know he gets to the wiring harness that's way up under here, but he tears apart everything off the back here, the plastic and the rack, the CVT inlet, the fender, everything ended up coming off. But there is an easier way to do it, and the only thing I had to take off was my right rear wheel. If you have stock wheels, you might have enough room to get to it, but I have 30s on here, so I had to jack it up and take this wheel off because I just couldn't fit my fat head between the tire and the fender. So where do I want to start? To go back to this diagram, the right signal wire and the left signal wire are going to run to your switch, but the red wire that's for the brake lights is going to run all the way to the rear of the vehicle, as well as the green and yellow wires from the outside of the converter box. So mine are running down behind the dash. You can't see it, they're going down into the tunnel here and running along the stock wiring loom that is next to the drive shaft. Coming back along here, they are then running underneath the passenger seat on top of the gas tank, and then exiting out the back of the cabin, which is where we were a minute ago. So you can see the wires coming out the back here. This is on the right side of the vehicle, and you see all the stock wiring harnesses coming up here. And if you follow that up, you see they end inside that wiring harness up there. So the tricky part is to get in here, actually cut open that wiring harness, and there will be 3 wires in there. One is for the right tail light, one is for the left tail light, and the third one is actually for a trailer wiring harness if you were to have an actual wiring harness, or maybe it's for a reverse light or something. I can't remember what I read. One of those things, but it actually doesn't lead anywhere, or it's not powering anything. So the trick to this is to cut that wiring harness open, have somebody or something hold down the brake pedal inside the cabin while you have your lights on. You want to cut one wire at a time. If you cut one wire and nothing happens, then you cut the wire that leads back here for a trailer harness or a reverse light or whatever it is. If nothing happens, if you cut one of the wires and your right tail light goes out, then you know that's where you need to wire your right signal wire to. So the signal wire coming off of the converter box will get wired into whatever one you cut that makes the right tail light go out. And then once you have that done, like I said, cut them one at a time so you don't confuse anything. Once you have the right one wired up, or whichever order you cut them in, cut the other one and see which tail light goes out, and then use that as your way to know what one you're wiring to. And then the red brake wire that is coming off of the inside of the converter box, it also gets ran all the way to the back, and it will get wired into the main harness heading back toward the vehicle, toward the main wiring harness. So wire your right signal switch that's going to the light, the left signal switch to the light, the red brake light gets wired in so that it's actually feeding back toward the main harness. I hope that makes sense. It might be kind of confusing. I don't really know how else to clarify exactly what I mean. So for my front signals, you can see off my pins here for my front signals, there's two wires leading off of here. One of these yellow wires is leading to the dash, and the other yellow wire is leading to the front light, and same for the blue. One of these is leading to the dash and one is leading to the front right driving light. The ones to the dash are in this main harness right here. You have to pop open this gray lever here, and then the wiring harness will come apart, and you want to wire into, very tough to see and fit my hand in here. You want to wire into the left side of that harness. That is what is leading to the dash. So there will be an orange and a baby blue wire inside that harness. Just cut those and wire the corresponding into the corresponding wire so that they show up correctly. For the front lights, the wiring harness can be accessed by removing this panel here. You can see my yellow wire down in there that's powering the front driving light. If you come underneath the fender and find this plug right here, you can disconnect that plug, and then you'll be able to pull the wiring harness up through this access panel to give yourself more space to work, and you'll be able to do your wiring up here. And like I said, on the left side of the vehicle there will be an orange wire in that harness. You can wire into it, stick it back down through, reconnect the harness, come to the right side, and again you'll have the same plug underneath here. Disconnect it, pull it up through this panel, find the baby blue wire, and you can splice into that to power your right turn signal. Then you can see this green wire is leading to the wiring harness. So I have this blue wire going to the dash for the right turn signal. This blue wire is coming off the switch and doing two things. It's splitting here and going to the front light, and then this side is feeding the inside of the converter box on the green wire. Like I said, that's probably sloppy because I'm not a professional at this, wiring or making videos. So if you have any questions, you can ask them down below. Thank you for watching.